Today I'm ranking every Superman-type character from weakest to strongest. And yes, some of these placements are going to make people angry. When you strip away the capes and the symbols, the power gap between a mere powerhouse and a true cosmic deity is massive. We're ignoring the plot armor and looking strictly at the feats to find out who actually stands at the top. We start with Brandon Breyer, otherwise known as Brightburn. Conceptually, he is the ultimate nature versus nurture failure, a terrifying look at what happens when a Kryptonian-style origin story is dropped into a slasher flick. He possesses the foundational Paragon kit: flight, super strength, near invulnerability to human weaponry, and a lethal set of heat vision. However, when we look at the actual power scaling, Brandon is a big fish in a very small pond. His feats are almost entirely localized to terrorizing a small town and brutalizing defenseless civilians. While he is a nightmare for a local sheriff's department, his destructive output is limited. He isn't shattering moons or moving planets. He's collapsing barns and crashing a single passenger plane. Ultimately, Brightburn is a horror villain, not a world-tier combatant. He relies on the shock of his power rather than the mastery of it. In a vacuum, he's a god. On this list, he's just a child playing with fire. But if Brandon Breyer represents the horror of a monster we can't control, our next entry represents the horror of a monster we chose to create, and then gave a marketing team. We move to the face of Vought International, Homelander. On paper, Homelander is the peak of his universe. He has the standard issue power set sonic flight, devastating heat vision, and physical strength that makes him a walking nuke. He dominates humans with such ease that he has developed a literal god complex. But that's exactly where his ranking begins to stall. The problem with Homelander isn't his power, it's his discipline. Because he has spent his entire life being the strongest person in the room, he has never had to learn how to actually fight. His combat style is lazy, relying on brute force and intimidation rather than technique. When he finally faces someone even remotely close to his strength level, he panics. He is mentally fragile, prone to tantrums, and lacks the warrior's resolve required for high-tier power scaling. In the world of the boys, he is an apex predator. On this list, he's a bully who's about to realize he's been training on easy mode while the real heavyweights are playing on legendary. Homelander is a corporate product designed to look like a god, but our next entry is a man who actually has the power of one. He just doesn't remember where he got it. Hancock. Hancock is significantly stronger than people remember. Because his movie was a grounded mid-2000s action drama, it's easy to overlook his sheer physical scale. We aren't just talking about a guy who can throw a car, we're talking about a being who can casually paint a massive logo on the moon. His speed is high supersonic, and his durability is essentially absolute. Bullets, RPGs, and freight trains don't just fail to hurt him, they don't even make him flinch. Unlike the previous entries, Hancock doesn't rely on heat vision or gadgets. Nay is a raw physical powerhouse with a level of immortality that makes him nearly impossible to put down. The only real asterisk on his power is his proximity to his counterpart, which strips his invulnerability. But in a standard one-on-one fight, Hancock is a heavy hitter who would dismantle a bully like Homelander without breaking a sweat. Wait until you see who beats Omni-Man, because if you think Hancock's moon painting feat is impressive, the top of this list operates on a completely different level of physics. He is a true immortal until he isn't. Hancock proves that raw power and immortality can carry you far. But what happens when that power is forced to grow through blood, trauma, and the realization that your father is the world's greatest threat? Enter Mark Grayson, also known as Invincible. Mark's Viltrumite physiology puts him in a completely different league than the previous entries. Unlike Homelander, who was born into his peak, Mark's power is reactive. It gets stronger through effort, and, more importantly, through trauma. His endurance is his greatest asset. He can take a level of physical punishment that would turn anyone we've discussed so far into a red mist and still find the will to throw a punch. The only reason Mark isn't higher on this list is his current lack of experience. At this stage, he's still learning the limits of his flight and strength, and he often struggles against opponents with more refined combat training. But that's the scary part about a Viltrumite. They don't just age, they evolve. Right now, he's in the middle of the pack, but given enough time and enough battles, he has the potential to sit comfortably in the top 3. He is a warrior in the making, constantly breaking his own limits. But while Invincible is a young hybrid still finding his way, our next entry has had thousands of years to perfect his role as a cosmic soldier, fueled by the energy of the stars themselves. As the tactical leader of the Eternals, Icarus is a highly disciplined powerhouse. His power set is remarkably consistent, devastating cosmic energy beams from his eyes, incredible speed, and strength that allowed him to go toe-to-toe with multiple superpowered beings simultaneously. Unlike some of the previous entries who are sloppy or purely instinctual, Icarus fights with the cold, calculated precision of a warrior who has spent millennia defending Earth. However, when we look at the MCU version specifically, he hits a bit of a ceiling. While he is a reliable powerhouse capable of flying into the sun, he lacks the reality-shattering or planet-moving feats found in the upper echelons of this list. He is a formidable combatant, but in a world of true Superman levels of power, he lacks the insane scaling required to breach the top tier. He's a soldier following orders, not a force that rewrites the rules of the universe. He is the ultimate weapon of the Celestials, until a more brutal, primal kind of power enters the atmosphere. Icarus is a refined warrior serving a higher cosmic purpose, but our next entry doesn't serve anyone but the empire he was sent to expand. He doesn't just fight for a cause, he conquers. Nolan Grayson, aka Omni-Man. Omni-Man is the bridge between a strong character and a global threat. While previous entries might struggle with a military or a specialized team, Nolan can dismantle a planetary defense force in an afternoon. His feats carry terrifying planet-level implications. He can move fast enough to ignite the atmosphere and hit hard enough to crack the surface of the Earth. What truly separates him from his son, Mark, or a bully like Homelander, is his ruthless mindset. He doesn't just win fights, he ends civilizations. With thousands of years of combat experience across the galaxy, he views combat with a cold, surgical efficiency. He doesn't waste time with monologues or fair fights. If you are in his way, he removes you with maximum lethality. He is the pinnacle of Viltrumite biology in its prime. He is a force of nature that cannot be reasoned with or bargained with. But if Omni-Man represents the peak of brutal, conquering strength, our next entry represents a level of power so absolute that it actually became boring. Metro Man. People often laugh at Metro Man because he comes from a family-friendly comedy, but when you look at his feats, he is arguably the most broken character we've discussed so far. His most famous feat, the midlife crisis stroll, happens in the literal blink of an eye. While an explosion is actively detonating, Metro Man moves so fast that time appears to stand still. He spends what feels like an entire day reading books, walking through the park, and contemplating his existence, all while his opponent hasn't even finished a sentence. He possesses casual invulnerability and strength that matches the Superman archetype perfectly, but his speed is what truly shatters the scale. In a fight against someone like Omni-Man or Homelander, Metro Man could effectively win the battle before they even realize it has started. It was never challenged in his movie because there was quite literally nothing capable of touching him. Now we enter characters that can destroy worlds, because while Metro Man breaks the speed of sound, the names coming up break the laws of reality. He is a gag character whose power level accidentally reached the level of a god. Metro Man's speed makes him untouchable in a physical world, but our next entry doesn't just move through the world, he commands the very elements of it, wielding the cosmic fury of a literal Norse deity, Thor. While Thor isn't a traditional Cape and S clone, he fits the archetype of the invincible, flying powerhouse to a T. What makes Thor terrifying compared to the others is the sheer versatility of his kit. He isn't just relying on his fists, he is a god with millennia of combat experience across the 9 realms. Whether he's wielding Mjolnir or Stormbreaker, he can channel planet-shattering lightning, manipulate the weather on a global scale, and survive the full concentrated force of a star. His durability is in a different league, where someone like Homelander might be bruised by a heavy hitter. Thor has traded blows with Hulk and Thanos. He combines the raw physical stats of a high-tier Superman with the magical weaponry and tactical wisdom of an ancient warrior. When Thor enters the fray, the battlefield doesn't just change, it's electrified. Raw power plus cosmic weaponry makes Thor a threat to almost anyone in the multiverse. But while Thor's power comes from his divine bloodline and centuries of war, our next entry gets his godlike abilities from a single word and the heart of a child. Shazam. Shazam is effectively the magic hack version of the Superman template. He possesses the standard sweet super strength, flight, and near invulnerability. But because his powers are mystical in nature, he holds a distinct advantage over many other Superman types who are often vulnerable to magic. With the strength of Hercules and the power of Zeus, he can call down lightning bolts that don't just shock, but bypass traditional physical defenses. However, the wisdom of Solomon only goes so far when the person behind the wheel is a teenager. Billy Batson's young mentality is his biggest bottleneck. He often lacks the strategic ruthlessness of a warrior like Thor or Omni-Man. He has the raw stats to be a top-tier contender, but his hesitation and lack of combat experience keep him from reaching his full potential. He is a god-tier engine being driven by a student driver. He is the same template as Superman, just equipped with a magical bypass code. But if Shazam represents the innocent potential of magical power, our next entry represents that same power forged in thousands of years of rage, slavery, and an uncompromising will. Black Adam. Black Adam is effectively everything scary about Shazam, but with zero restraint. He possesses the same magical suite, the flight, the invulnerability, and the devastating lightning. But he removes the childish hesitation bottleneck entirely. Teth Adam doesn't pull his punches. He doesn't offer second chances, and he doesn't wait for his opponent to make the first move. His greatest asset is his killer instinct honed over centuries as an ancient warrior. While Billy Batson might wonder if he's doing the right thing, Black Adam has already decided that your existence is a threat to Kondak and has acted accordingly. He combines the raw, mystical power of a god with the cold, tactical brutality of a king. On this list, he represents the point where heroism stops and absolute dominance begins. He is a reminder that a god with a moral code is a choice, and he chooses to be a weapon. Black Adam is the dark reflection of what God can be when they stop holding back. But it's time to talk about the man who set the standard, the blueprint for every name on this list, and the one who still defines what it means to be truly super. Kal-El, the Superman. Superman is the gold standard. He possesses the most balanced and iconic version of the Paragon power set. Not just the flight and strength, but the enhanced senses, freeze breath, and heat vision that he uses with surgical precision. While we've discussed characters who are brutal or fast, Superman's scaling is legendary. Depending on the version, from the modern age to the pre-crisis era, his feats range from moving tectonic plates to literally sneezing away entire solar systems. Beyond the raw physics, he is the ultimate symbol of heroism. He doesn't win because he's the strongest. He wins because his willpower and tactical mind allow him to outthink cosmic threats. He is the benchmark that every other character on this list is measured against. If you're looking for the absolute peak of the archetype, you've found him. You probably expected him to be number one. But there is a name that even Clark Kent would hesitate to cross. This number one spot will start arguments. But when you see the sheer scale of our final entry, you'll understand why the Man of Steel takes the silver today. Superman is a sun-dipped beacon of hope, but our next entry is a man who carries the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns within his mind, and a darkness that could swallow the entire multiverse. Robert Reynolds, the Sentry. If Superman is a god, the Sentry is a force of nature gone wrong. What puts him above the Man of Steel isn't just physical muscle, it's his molecular manipulation. Sentry doesn't just hit hard, he can literally restructure reality and regenerate from a single atom. He has ripped gods in half, fought Worldbreaker Hulk to a standstill, and survived being disintegrated. He doesn't just fly fast, he moves across galaxies in moments. But the most terrifying part about the Sentry isn't his strength, it's the void. This dark, parasitic entity is a manifestation of his own mental instability, granting him reality-warping feats that transcend physical combat. When the Sentry loses control, he isn't just a threat to a city or a planet, he is a threat to the fabric of existence itself. He is the most unstable god on this list, wielding a level of power that is as broken as his own psyche. He is the pinnacle of the archetype. A man who has achieved a level of power that is essentially indistinguishable from magic. The Sentry is a man struggling to contain the light of a million suns, a reminder that at the highest levels of power, the line between hero and catastrophe becomes razor thin. From the localized horror of Brightburn to the cosmic instability of the Sentry, we've seen that the Superman archetype is about much more than just a cape and a punch. It's a spectrum of power that scales from small-town threats to reality-shattering deities. While characters like Homelander rely on intimidation, and icons like Superman rely on hope, players like Metro Man and Sentry remind us that some beings are simply broken by design. Ranking these characters isn't just about who hits the hardest. It's about who has the discipline, the feats, and the raw cosmic output to back up the title of God. Whether you agree with the top spot or think Omni-Man was robbed, one thing is certain. When these archetypes clash, the collateral damage is more than just property, it's the laws of physics themselves. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments who your number one is.